Well, I just want to introduce somebody that I've just met, well, in Pennsylvania Quilt Show, and it's Christine Wickert. Now, do I call you Christine or Chris?
You can call me Chris.
Awesome. Now, we met up at the Pennsylvania show because you won Best of Show.
Absolutely.
And let me tell you, that quilt of yours is remarkable. Where is the quilt right now?
It is going to be shown at the New England Quilt Museum in Lowell.
Museum.
Between now and July, they have a special exhibit of silk quilts from the past and to the present.
Okay, so you've just hit the key word here. I want to tell everybody that it's a pattern by Edita Sitar, right?
Right?
It was done in silk. Tell us about that.
Well, everybody always asks me, isn't it hard to work with silk? But this particular pattern is an applique pattern, and it is a dream to applique with silk. Especially the way I applique, I don't needle turn. I make templates out of a three-tiered freezer paper, iron that onto the back, put some water around the edge of it, and iron it over the edges of the template, pop the template out, and I've got something ready to be sewn onto the background. So it's really easy. And the easy thing about silk is that it really holds its crease. You can't get a crease out after you've ironed it with water.
So you don't even have to use spray starch with it, with the water, like you do with
Well,
cotton?
I do not, I can't use spray starch because you can't wash it out. I can't wash my silks. So I would never use anything but water with the silk.
Okay, how come you can't wash the silk?
Well, I think when you've put all those colors, I can't pre-wash it because they get very limp. And you put all those colors together, you never know which one's going to run.
So
So,
if it got dirty, because I have a silk quilt myself, and it's pieced, and we'll get down to that in a minute. But I thought I would probably dry clean it, which I know is kind of I mean,
yeah, yeah, that's a no-no, I guess, with quilts. But if it's soiled, I mean, maybe that's a solution. Sometimes I find dry cleaning worsens the effort, so I just have to be very
I
careful.
guess so. There's no one going to be sleeping under that quilt, right?
Right.
And then one other question, like when I pieced it, I backed it with Jenny Haskins, some sort of facing stuff. You
No,
don't need
no.
to do that.
I can't really do that because the interfacing in many cases makes it too stiff for me to hand quilt through. So I do not interface any of even when I'm piecing, and I have a quilt here that I could show you that is part pieced and part appliqued. Piecing is a little harder.
See the quilt. I want to see the quilt.
Okay, I'm going to put this on um, reverse camera,
Okay. You're working
Okay,
on an
back to the
iPad.
camera.
Oh,
Oh, now, these
oh,
are my silks, and here's the silk quilt. See, and it's partly pieced and partly appliqué. That hung in an AQS show and won a prize, but quite a while ago.
I'll bet
Anyway,
it did. Now, let me ask you, where do you get your silk? I was going to say, do you use Dupioni? It looks like you use everything.
here's a lot of. I use mostly Dupioni, but I look particularly for silks that have patterns in it.
Uh-huh.
So you can see, I pulled some out. You see those two tubs there?
Yes.
That's two of five tubs of silk. I'm just as addicted to collecting silk now as I am collecting cottons, which are in the cubicles back there, and I
Right.
use some of them. But
Oh, I see a bunch of ribbons on the left-hand side. You kind of
yeah, these are
skirted
my
over
ribbons.
those quickly.
Yeah.
How does that feel? I wouldn't know.
Yeah. I'm going to turn you back, okay?
Okay. I also noticed that in your cottons, it's a lot of solids. Is that what you primarily work in?
No. In the cottons, I have a lot of uh, fabrics that appear as solids, but a lot of prints. I love Jenny Beyer fabrics. I love border fabrics. So yeah, there's a lot of prints in the cottons, but in the
Okay, now I have a question for you. When you're appliquing or piecing with silk, now when you piece with silk, do you line it with something?
no, no, I was so worried about hand quilting through it.
I was okay with that Jenny Haskins stuff. I was kind of
Really?
amazed.
Kind of, Santa, you have to tell me what kind of stuff you back it with.
It's Jenny Haskins. It's not. It's
Okay.
yeah. It's kind of expensive, but it comes in a black and it comes in a white, and it works quite nicely. Now, when you sew with silk, do you use silk thread for everything?
When I applique with silk, I applique with YLI silk. When I piece with silk, I use a very thin cotton thread.
Okay. What about when you hand quilt?
I use silk. And for hand quilting, the sampling the Silk Road, I used Gutermann, which is a little thicker than YLI. I couldn't find a thicker YLI. So, but right now I'm even quilting with this very thin because the color worked with this, and I wanted it exactly the same as the color of this quilt that I'm quilting. So, it quilts. You can use it as quilting thread. It does not tangle. It works well.
Okay. What about your batting and backing on the silk quilt?
The present silk quilts are all backed with silk. The batting is Hobbs silk, which is 90% silk and 10%.
So I understand you're working on something right now. Can we have a sneak peek?
Yes, I'm quilting it as we speak. Called it's called my version of a Persian, not cat.
Hey, hold it up a little bit longer. You went too fast for me. I really got to take that in. Oh,
Okay, do you recognize the flowers, Alex? Do you recognize the flowers on this quilt?
I guess I'm
This
going to
is
say
my
yes,
good
but
friend Debbie Kemble's.
oh,
When
oh.
she first arrived on the scene, I was blown away by her work, naturally, because she's a hand person, hand flowers, hand applique, hand quilting. So after you interviewed her, I got in contact with her, and we have been emailing back and forth. And I've bought all her stuff, all her books. And one night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, I couldn't sleep, and I have a Persian rug in my bedroom. And I looked at this rug and I said, "This is a quilt." And so I immediately went downstairs and looked at Debbie's patterns, and I decided to use her flowers and arrange them in so to make it look like a Persian rug. So that's my version of a Persian.
I love. Well, I am just really glad that you set some time for us today. You're in New York, and
Yes, yes.
I'm in California, so I want to thank you so much. And I'm so glad that you shared with us what you shared with us because I too am drawn to silk, and I think my collection's just in its infancy.
Yeah, I think I'm seeing a lot more silk in quilts, especially in art quilts. I think it is spectacular to work with. So it's just not that much more expensive. Cotton's not cheap, you know. So
So, are you going to Paducah this year?
I hope this quilt is going to get accepted to Paducah.
Awesome. But what
Not
about you?
next year,
Next year?
2015. This year I can't go.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm sure we'll see you around. Look for me in the Quilt Life booth and the Quilt Show booth when you hit shows, okay?
Ah, yeah. It was a delight talking to you.
Have a good day and stay warm.
Thank you. I don't have to say that to you.
No, you don't today. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye bye.